Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Option Forex. Right, so for this week, I actually won't be sharing any reversal trade that I'll be having because, because I didn't really prepare the charts for reversal this week. I'm just gonna take a back seat, simply because of the upcoming elections. But continuing what I have been doing so far, um, just recently I've actually rearranging some of my indicators, which I've been storing thousands in it. I found one which in the past I quite like it. Then I think in the midst of testing, I sort of actually lost this indicator that it went out of view. It just so happened that today, while I was rearranging, that I came upon it again. Yeah, so it is this. You can download this indicator from MQL5, or you can actually go to this guy website PZ.0. Yeah, yes, or actually uh, put the link on the YouTube and Facebook while I'm speaking. Yeah. So what this indicator does is it is a breakout entry for inside bar on the higher time frame. It's easier to think of it in this manner. Yeah. So what this indicator does is that you can see from the illustration, uh, once there's a breakout of multiple, you can actually customize it. Yeah. So once it has a bar, which effectively, it is not just a breakout. Okay, what it does is that once a bar appears, that engulfs the previous ranges. Okay, this is the important thing. Okay, it's not just a breakout. Okay, it is a price actions, a price movement, which engulf the high and the low of the previous ranges. Then this will be an indication to enter. Yeah. So while the previous ranges, you can think of this as a higher time frame inside bar. And then there's a breakout bar that occurs. So what it does, what is different from usual inside bar breakout is that the master bar that breakouts needs to cover the high and the low of the previous ranges. Then this will be counted as a valid entry for this particular indicator. Yeah. So I think the author names it as a sandwich bar. So that's the explanation for it. So you can actually, once you download, you can actually customize it. Yeah, this is a free indicator, by the way. You don't need to actually pay for it. Yeah. So to me, this is a rather, if you're talking about, if you're discussing about price action, then personally, I would think that this is a very effective way of trading the market, provided you need to pair it with another analysis. Yeah, because what you're essentially trading is really an engulfing bar. And this engulfing bar is unlike the one that you usually learn, is that it needs to cover the high and low, not just the, sometimes the engulfing bar that you trade on, it can just be covering either the open or closed. Yeah. So this one actually covered the entire range. So in a way, this is a much more, I would say, proper engulfing bar per se. So you can actually customize the different, how many bars that minimum range, how many previous bar that it needs to engulf, and the max range. I think default is about 3 bars. The maximum is about 20 bars. Yeah, personally, I'm not really that interested in 20 bars. It rarely happens anyway. Yeah, usually what happens is if you trade, price will be in a range for about a couple of bars, usually less than four or five, and then you'll break up. Yeah, in the direction of the trend. Yeah, so the author has provided some examples. So feel free to download it. I've done so myself. Then let me switch over straight. Right. So I'm going to provide a few ways whereby you can actually implement how to trade this indicator. And to me, I don't attempt to trade all three methods. I don't think that's recommended. Yeah, because anything new I know is fun, but try to keep it simple for start at least to understand the settings. So let me share with you the settings. So the minimum range, I've changed it to 1. The default will be 3. I've changed it to 1. All the others are the same. So bullish breakout box will be blue. Bearish breakout box will be tomato color or red color, whichever you need. Anyway, as per usual, when you download the indicator from the MQL forums, you can find it under your navigator inside here, the market. Yeah, this way you can find. So just drag it onto your screen. So the first way we can trade it, which is the simplest manner, trade it within a trending market. By the way, what I missed out is that as always, most of the indicators I share, they will have alerts for you. Yeah, so if you need, that's why I choose to trade indicators so that I can be away from my screen. Once the setup occurs, as and when the alert will be sent to my phone, and I will come and have a look. Yeah. I'm not some guy who really likes to stare at the screen too much. I tend to see unicorns that way. So back to the topic. You can trade it within a trending context. I think that's the recommended manner to trade it. So in this case, the trend analysis which I've chosen as my poison will be Bollinger Bands. Yeah. A very, very simple way to look at it, I will want to trade any breakout as long as it occurs at the upper half of the band, then I will trade only the bullish breakout. If it happens on the lower half of the band, then I will only trade bearish breakout. Don't attempt to trade reversal with this. Yeah. So upper half, let's trade to the long. Lower half, let's trade to the short. On top of that, let me implement more rules. Just one more rule. If the bar, the breakout bar, actually covers the middle line to the outer band, then I will actually abandon the trade. Yeah, because that will be actually too much of a range to trade. Yeah. So just this, I think two simple rules. Okay. If it occurs at a high upper half, let's trade long. Lower half, let's trade short. And on top of that, I would prefer the breakout to be only to not touch the outer band. That's about it. That's a requirement for it. So let's go through some trade examples for Bollinger Bands. In this case, as usual, I'm only aiming for 2:1. You can aim for 3:1. Probably you might need more stringent filters. Yeah. So for as usually I'll aim for 2:1 for most of my trades. It'll be simpler to digest. So this will actually be, you can see that blue box indicates a breakout for this particular price action. I'll be using market entry. My stop loss will either be for this particular case, my stop loss will be at the low. If it's a long trade, it will be at the candle low. If it's a short trade, the stop loss will be at candle high, the breakout candle. So this will be the first one. So you can see that easily it gets to 2R. By the way, this time around I need my 2R as 2. That's the way. It's not bingo. Bingo is 3R. All right. So I got a first winning trade. This I wouldn't be trading. I will be trading this. So you can see a bullish breakout, but you immediately result in a stop loss. So 1:1, one winner, one loser. This will be a winning trade. 2 winner. So this one is going to be ignored because it occurs at the lower half of the band. So lower half, I'm only going to trade bearish breakouts. Right? So 2 winner. So far I have 2 winner, 1 loser. Anything, one thing that I also implement is that anything that's usually more than 5 bars, I will ignore. Yeah, I need to change the settings in this case. So max range in bars is about 5. Yeah, then this will be more probable for me to trade. So this would, by my observation, oh sorry, I won't be trading this. Yeah, because the breakout occurs from the top of the 20 SMA line. This is something I'm not interested. It needs to occur at the lower half. Okay, same thing. The breakout occurs from the top of the 20 SMA. This is something that I wouldn't want to see. This is something which I would want to trade myself. You see, this occurs within the upper half of the Bollinger Bands. Yeah, so I will get, nope, I will stop loss. I won't get to that. I won't get to my 2R. It will hit my stop loss first. Yeah. So 2:2. Ignore. I'll only be trading long. This one, if any of you who trade Bollinger Bands, this is actually a tradable entry. Why do I say that? Because this will constitute a Bollinger Band squeeze. Yeah. But for the sake of today's presentation clarity, I will ignore this. Ignore, 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 ignore. There. Occurs at the upper half of the band, I will enter, get to 2, straight away get to 2R. So there will be 3 winner, 2 loser. Ignore, 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 ignore. Again, this is something which I want to trade. So you can see the breakout occurs below the 20 SMA, and the price actually closed before the outer band. Yeah. So I will still enter, and I will actually get stop loss. So 3 winner, 3 loser. This one will be entry. I'll get to my winner, 4 winner. Just delete this. This one, I wouldn't get into my 2R. I'll hit my stop loss first. So 4:4. So this one also a loser, 4:5. This one will be a winner, 5:5. Ignore because it closes. It happens at the lower half of the Bollinger Bands. This will be a winner, 6:5. Ignore. This one occurs outside of the band, so I will ignore this. Remember that I only take trades in the middle of the band. So both of these I need to ignore because this one occurs at the upper half. This one occurs at the lower half, but price actually crosses the lower band. Boom, no trades. No trades. Occurs in the lower half, in the middle, something I'll jump in. Hits my 2R. So 7:5. 8:5. So total, you can see I'm just taking a simple chart illustration. I'll have 8 winners, 5 stop losses, and the 8 winners is all I'm aiming for 2R. So total I'll be up by 16% minus 5 losses, there will be 11% up. Yeah. So that's only from one chart. Now again, I would strongly emphasize, don't take anything that I say and use it straight away. You need to backtest and verify. Okay, so this is one method that you can actually implement for this particular indicator. Yeah, sandwich bar. So that's with trends. So second method which I would recommend is actually trade from horizontal level, and this is something that you would have learned on when you would have touched on and learned when you first started with your trading. Yeah. So what I want, the way horizontal level, how it works, I won't be delving into it, but rather how I will actually go about using this indicator is if the breakout happens at a horizontal level. So in this case, my horizontal level, I put it, let me check. Oops, what did I do? There we go. 50. I believe that's my previous setting. Yeah, so this would be 135. That would be 132, should be 134. Yeah. So this would be 100 pips apart from a horizontal level. Yeah, this is a whole number essentially. Yeah. So as long as the breakout actually happens at the horizontal level, and I would be taking it simple as that. Yeah. So it won't really be with any particular direction. One thing I will avoid is any breakout bars that has long tail. Then I will avoid taking that particular breakout bar. Yeah, because the long tail signifies that there's rejection, simple as that. I do not want to disrespect the market. So in this case, because each of my horizontal level is about 100 pips apart, I can go for bigger winner. So I'll modify these to have 3R rewards. Yeah, that would be bingo. So you can see this will be the first trade I enter. You can see that price broke upwards. And in fact, this will be a test bar or a pin bar as you have learned. Yeah, so I've got my first winner. Nothing. You can see that price actually retested the horizontal level and then has a bearish close. Yeah, so this will be considered a trade setup. So this was my second winner. This, you can see that price broke above horizontal level, come back and bounce and have a bullish breakout. Yeah, so it will still be an entry, but in this case, it will be result in a loser, which is fine. I have 2 winners and 1 loser. So no trade all the way here so far. Nothing. This one, I don't really want to force in the trades. I really want it to touch the horizontal level before I decide. So I won't be considered this an entry. Nothing. Now you can see this. It happens at the horizontal level and broke above. still be considered a valid entry. So unfortunately, it will be stop loss. So 2 winner, 2 stop loss, which is fine. Nothing. So I missed out. This will be an entry. You can see that price actually touched the horizontal level. So this will be an entry, and if I can't actually magnify this, can I? Yeah. So this would actually, truthfully speaking, I don't know whether this will be a stop loss or a winner because it is too close for a call. I'll just consider a winner anyway. Or I can, so there will be 3 winner, 2 stop loss. Price didn't really have a bearish close below the horizontal level. I'm not taking this. So you can see that this one price broke above very nicely. Re-entry, and then we'll get stop outs. So 3 winner, 3 stop loss. There, this is a long tail which I wish to avoid. So as long as it shows a long tail in the direction of the break, then let's avoid that those trades. Bearish break, bullish break, I can enter, and then I'll still eventually get my winner. So 4 winner. This will result in a stop loss. Get the 2R and it reverses. So 4:4. This one will be an immediate winner. 5:4. And I guess that's about it. If I do remember correctly. So this will be a long tail. Let's avoid this kind of setup. Yeah. So this will just be trading from horizontal level. In fact, this will actually be considered a correct setup. Yeah. So total, I'll have 5 winner, 5 loser for a 3R risk to reward setup. That means I will easily get about 5 times 3, 15 minus 5 loser, 10% gained just from this chart alone. Yeah, so this is still a viable way to trade from horizontal level. Yeah, which is not really, I don't have any directional bias. Truthfully speaking, that's the preferred manner which I usually how I look at charts nowadays in terms for to look for breakout trades. So guys, if you have any question about any of the method which I share, you can just actually put it in. I'll be more than happy to do some explanations. Yeah. So sandwich bar again, I'll do more in-depth analysis of it in the upcoming sessions because, like I mentioned just now, this indicator I quite like it. Yeah, just that in the midst of testing, I somehow lose it. Yeah, I stopped testing it already. And the last method which I wish to share for trading in terms of breakout for this sandwich bar indicator is if you do trade reversals. Yeah. So I know in terms of reversals, it is very how do I put it? Very tempting for new traders. Yeah, and unfortunately, it's one of the hardest way to trade the market because we tend to see reversals all over the place. Yeah. Personally, for me, if I do trade reversals, again, I'll pair with indicators. So I pair with a MACD divergence. So all divergence indicator, they actually do repaint. So that's the bad thing about it. Yeah, divergence does repaint. But if you trade with a non-repainting indicator, that will make the whole trading system much more viable to look at. So again, because the nature of reversals is that once it does happen, and if it's a true reversal, it should go a long way. Yeah. So in this case, you can actually aim for 3R, 4R, 5R. So I'll just go for 3R this time round. So breakout divergence. I'm not looking at hidden divergence. I'm looking at regular divergence. Yeah, so this result in a stop loss. So you can see that there are divergence on my chart, but as long as it's not paired with a recent breakout, I'll ignore it. There you go. Divergence with a sandwich bar breakout. So this one easily go to 3R. So one loser, one winner. By the way, this is not meant to be a system, but just that how I'll present it in different ways that you can use it. So again, divergence followed by a breakout side by side. I will still get my winner. There's 3R. Pre-NIT, 1 loser, 2 winner. Divergence followed by a recent breakout. Unfortunately for this one, I will get entered and get stop loss. I think within the week. Yeah. So 2 winner, 2 stop loss. Nothing over here. There you can see this is a divergence, and then I have a breakout. So I'll enter and market entry with my stop loss candle. So I will still get my, when the price goes, it hits my 3R before it reverses. So 2 winner, 3 winner, 2 loser. Yeah, unfortunately I can't go further back with my MACD indicator because I think there's a limit to it. Yeah, it's blank here anymore. Yeah. So this is this is something that you can actually consider. What I would actually advise for you when if you do want to play around with this indicator is treat this as a price action indicator. So it's a trigger. It's not an analysis, right? Don't treat this indicator as an analysis. Okay? You need to pair the trigger with another form of analysis, and I just presented to you 3 different ways that you can look at it. One is either you trade with trends. I'm using Bollinger Bands. Bollinger Bands between the middle line is actually the 20 SMA. Otherwise, you can just use straight up horizontal levels. As always, I always try to objectify the way I look at the market. So in this case, my horizontal level are whole numbers. Yeah, some of you will be more look at it as a psychological level. It's the same thing. And the third way is really reversal trading in the form of divergence. So all 3 are viable methods. I can't give you a statistic of it. I've just run a simple visual backtest of it. I've done so in the past, and these are the 3 methods I recall that I run the test on it. All 3 are viable. Yeah. So play around with it. So again, the sandwich bar look in a way that is an inside bar breakout indicator. Yeah. So the breakout is in the form of an engulfing bar, so it'll be easier to digest. All right, so I've talked non-stop. Let's see if I have any questions. If I have no questions, then I'll be ending the sessions. So let me have a look. All right, Parish, does it work in all time frames? For the sandwich bar, yes, it does work in all time frame. But how? Okay, let me show you how sandwich bar works. Is that the higher the time frame, you get really very little signal. So where is it? Market. Easy sandwich bar. Yes. So daily, I suppose that's what you're asking. So you can see that it works in daily. There's a breakout. It happens, and then I go to scroll till don't know when before I get the next signal. For the year of 2020 up to November, I only get 1 signal for Euro TV, and then I don't really get anything else. 2018, I also don't get any signal. Yeah, so it does work, just that you get really very little signal on the higher time frame. The nature of how sandwich bar works is that it's a consolidation followed by a breakout. So you will see more consolidation on the lower time frame, at the lower time frame, more so than the higher time frame. Yeah. So I wouldn't actually, it'll be the first time round. I will actually advise you not to use this indicator on the daily time frame. Yeah. Use it on the lower time frame. Just now I presented your H4, H1, M30, 30 minutes. This will be easier. This will be time frames easier to use the indicator. Even as it is on the lower time frame, you really don't get much. You don't get a lot of signals as it is. But it'll be easier to trade from the lower time frame. Yep. Hope it does explain. So give it a try. For a start, like I mentioned, paired with a trending indicator, Bollinger Bands, moving average, super trend, backtest it across a few pairs and see if it actually works for you. Yeah. So if you want better signals, then the minimum bar limit at 3. If you want much more liberal signals, then you can be like me, change it to 1 bar. Yeah, so you'll be really a 1 bar breakout. Right, hope you all enjoyed today's sessions, and that's it. Goodbye, and I'll see you next week. Have a nice evening.